lanes. I'm up at Carmichael's trying to get on the same page. I heard about the rapper that you claim was a mainstay. They had a nice run, but they never gonna maintain because they don't love it.
From just off the shores of Lake Erie, EA Sports brings you coverage of the NFL from Cleveland Browns Stadium in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30. These two teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in Week 2. But it was the visiting Browns who got the victory then, so they'll look for the season sweep here in Cleveland. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Out of the gun, Watson. Looking for the out route, and he's got more. Will go down as a gain of 6, and 3rd and 1 now.
That's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb, and he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. The Browns have 8-1 on the year, and they have certainly got it rolling as of late, winners of 6 in a row.
And I think this is where, as a head coach, you show your team some trust. Instead of just talking about winning, the very next game, you point out to them, we're on a nice run here, and if we keep doing this, we'll be playing at home in the postseason, and we know that could ride us all the way to the Super Bowl if we get that done.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Pass complete from Watson to Akins. And he's got this down to the 35. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson rolling, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Nick Herbig brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Now it's Watson. Incomplete.
Yeah, offenses always try to be smart about when they're trying to dial up a screen to the running back, because they understand you can only go to the well so many times in a game without the defense starting to anticipate the call.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Watson now to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Pickett leads the Steelers up here with a fresh set of downs at their own 14-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
They run the play fake. Here's Pickett. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. This defense for the Browns, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
Yeah, we're definitely in top form and pitched a shutout, as a matter of fact. That's the cherry on top of a great week of preparation. And you know what? These guys are eager to keep it going. So motivation this week, not an issue.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. And a big 32-yard play on third.
And that one hurts defensively. They force him into 3rd and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. Harris running straight ahead. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And Charles, you look at this defense, they were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game right.
Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. You look at this Browns defense. They were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
Yeah, they pitched a shutout in that game, didn't they? And those don't come around all that often in the NFL. The ability to keep someone out of the end zone and also from kicking one through the post. Well done.
Here's Pickett on 2nd down. And he's taken down. This will be a Browns sack. And go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's 3rd down. Pickett now from the gun here. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much. And it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 40 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Now a throw here going to be taken in by the tight end, the Joker. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. Back to throw, Watson. He's got it. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal. Chubb trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
They were held to a field goal on their first drive. They want 6 now, but it's 3rd and goal. They'll give it to Chubb. And this time he is in. Nick Chubb, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And they're able to add on to their advantage. Extra point by York is up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score, we're down double digits. They got to figure out something and pretty quickly here. No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Walker. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball. No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward. A good run by Chubb on first down as he'll get about 6 yards there. A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent game. This 2nd and 4. And again, it's Chubb. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports.
The score, Browns 10, Steelers 0.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They'll run with Chubb, and he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Nick Chubb with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. New York now for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with it. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Now a 2nd and 6. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot and run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. That's caught. It's Austin left side. And he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3. So on 4th down, the Steelers going to bring in Braden Mann to punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
But obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Two minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. To throw on 2nd is Watson. Trying to drop one in, but it's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Watson. They set up the screen to Chubb. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. Fielded just inside the 20. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Watson.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, no problem.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Pickett to throw on first down. Open man, there's Darnell Washington. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Pickett now to throw off the play fake. And he'll get it right back to Washington. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Back-to-back plays of right around 30 yards, and the field position has totally been flipped.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Harris will score. Touchdown, Steelers.
And how nice is it to have a guy like Najee Harris in the backfield when you get down near the goal line? He can use his 230-plus pound frame to just get you those tough yards, and he finishes things off here with a touchdown run.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it's 17-7.
Makes the score from 17. Steelers 7. Chris Boswell, the kickoff for Pittsburgh.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Anthony Schwartz going to bring it out. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. 82 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd down and 3. They run it again with Chubb. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. He's got the connection to Moore. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind out the 1st down.
But things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Set.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he's got this down to the 35. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
The 35-yard line.
Get set.
On first down, Watson. That pass complete to Moore. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it'll be second down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. From the gun, here's Watson. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. Breaks through the contact. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
Escaping the pressure right. That's down the field and caught by Freiermuth. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Pickett will look to throw it here. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
A good job in coverage there. They took away his top read on the play, so he went through his progressions and ended up settling on his running back who scored on their last possession, but the coverage held. It goes incomplete.
2nd and 10. Looking to throw, Pickett. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Zone coverage there, they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Pickett. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. And trouble trying the middle here. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And it'll come out to the 25. Austin not going to try and return it. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated. There he goes, right side. Down the sideline he goes. And finally taken down at the 34. 61 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. He had been held in check. Now he breaks that big run. Shows the explosiveness we all knew was there.
All right, tell the truth now. You knew it was just a matter of time, didn't you? We've seen this so many times from him. Hold him down, and then breaks out.
And he's going to be taken down. Back around the 35-yard line. There's a Darius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground. And for the defense, their 3rd sack of the game.
That number tells you that they're starting to put it together with their defensive game plan. They're starting to feel pretty good about what the offense is doing, bringing the pressure at the right time, and putting the quarterback on the ground.
Here's one deep for Pickens. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Denzel Ward. The Browns drive about to get started. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
That's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and it's a 2nd down.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Now a nice throw here, right side. He hauls it in. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
They go quickly here out to Moore. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Number 8, Elijah Moore. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 30-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 8. They give the Chubb out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee he's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. Now Austin. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 30-yard line, 2nd and 12. Back to throw, Pickett. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Greg Newsome. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Set. Alert.
Here's Chubb on the read option. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 11 yards for number 11. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They go up the middle with Chubb. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Watson now to throw. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Faking the give. Now Watson. This is caught. Touchdown, Browns. Donovan Peoples-Jones. His 6th touchdown of the season. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, when you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock too with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Third quarter action. Appreciate you joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. 2nd and 10. Running left, it's Warren. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for. Another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
Let's go.
First and 10, here's Pickett. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Off the play fake, here's Pickett. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 43. And they run with Harris off the option. 67 yards on the ground for him so far.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd down and 4. Johnson's got it complete. And Johnson going to have a Steelers first down as he'll get this down to the 30-yard line.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. Before they can snap it, time runs out on this 3rd quarter of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Pickett back to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. But just add that to the list of great moments for this defense today. They've really shredded that game plan on the other side all 4 quarters. And, Charles, that pick 6, that's kind of the cherry on top.
Yeah, they did it, and I feel like I'm quoting a bad movie line, but they did it together, didn't they? Fed off of each other, every big play they made, every tackle, every pick, everything they've done. They continually built energy in this one, And how about him culminating with a pick six?
Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Warren will try the right side. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
2nd and 9. They run the play fake. Here's Pickett. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Pardon my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front 7 today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved. And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game is certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Second down, here's Chubb again. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The Browns on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Watson. They set up the screen to Chubb. Into space at the 45. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
They run on 1st down as they're able to get this forward for about 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He'll be taken down well behind the line, and I think he might have just given those 4 yards right back. That second down play nets a -4. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Work in the middle, and now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They'll start the drive with Harris. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains, that means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
The handoff out of the pistol, it's Washington. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Pickett sets up play action. He's going to launch it for Washington. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
We've seen that the deep ball has been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Pickett, 4th down, desperation time. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is going to be recovered by a member of the offense, but whistles come in. Remember, on 4th down, that becomes a dead ball if anyone other than the fumbler himself recovers. So it'll come back to the spot of the fumble, and that will mean that's going to wind up being a turnover on downs. They'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. A give. This is Chubb. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That play unable to get started thanks to the defense of Quan Alexander. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. And they'll send the tight end in motion.
Hey, you got to snap it.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he'll take this one down near the 15. So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Following the penalty, Chubb. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7 on the ground. That trims it to a 3rd and 15 situation.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this fourth down field goal try for the Browns. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. York able to send this one through. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Austin elects to bring this out of the end zone.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again. This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. He's going to pick up the first down and then some. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A big play there on the catch and run. 38 yards.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
Throw left side, hauled in by Pickens. So no gain on the play, and that'll make it second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Meanwhile, Pickett's throw hauled in by Washington. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Zadarius Smith picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this Browns defense stands tall.
We're set.
And they'll indeed take a knee. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their